Welcome to the Fund Better podcast. Today we have our second episode here with Ben Lee. What we focus on in this podcast is anything financial services distribution and what firms in financial services can do to make a lasting impact, ultimately leading to growing your business, whether that be more AUM in the door, client acquisition. And today we're going to be talking a lot about AI and technology because we have Ben Lee here, who is our AI and technology manager. Ben, welcome and thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Let's start with a brief overview of what you do here at GK3 and what an AI technology manager is and how that affects our clients.
Yeah, so I'm the AI and technology manager here at GK3, and what that entails is helping develop an understanding and implementation of AI and technology in both GK3 processes and in our clients' processes.
All ultimately helping them better be efficient in their processes, leading to more AUM in the door and maybe better sales outreach, better marketing.
Yeah, we touch on all sorts of things. We have Market Voice, which is our content engine, and we have our AI visibility app that we're working on.
And Market Voice is super interesting, and I think we're going to have to touch on that a little bit later in our conversation here. But you mentioned the AI visibility app. I think that's what John has had you working on for the past 2 weeks. Why don't we walk through what that is a little bit and how it's going to benefit our clients?
Yeah, so the past 2.5, 3 weeks, I've been working on our AI visibility app. The question we set out to answer and the tool that we wish to provide to people is, what is the digital real estate that I want to show up for?
Yep.
And what can I do to show up there?
And is digital real estate your organic visibility, basically, on how much you come up based on people searching you on Google or Bing or I guess now ChatGPT?
Yeah, so obviously a lot of great SEO tools already exist in terms of showing just search engine type of results and how you perform. But the area that is pretty undeveloped right now and where we couldn't find a great solution for is how are we showing up on AI and how are you showing up on AI? And it's something that we've been having clients come in through ChatGPT.
I think I've had, the 21st today? I think I've had 5 this year so far.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like how much
it's becoming a real referral source. I wouldn't even call it a referral source anymore. It's a traffic generator. Yeah,
100%. And it's going to continue to grow as people's reliance on various LLMs increase. And it's also like a great trust signal if you do show up, as a mention, or if you show up as a citation.
And what's a mention? I think I know what that is. A mention is when you ask an AI something and it comes back specifically talking about your brand, right?
Yeah, so the way that, in the context of our app, the way that we define it is that a mention is if your brand name or a branded name, like a product name, shows up explicitly in the copy of the text itself, whereas a citation would refer to if you were one of the sources that it pulled from.
I see. So a mention is more so of XYZ Capital offers mutual funds, SMAs, and ETFs in the industrial real estate sector, to where a source would be industrial real estate is a great diversifier in your portfolio because of XYZ. And then you have like a little bubble on the right-hand side that links to where the AI got that information, which is hopefully your website, which is where the traffic is generated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And obviously, they're important for different reasons.
Yeah.
And mentions have more weight. AI.
Why do they have more weight?
Oh, because they're seen. They're seen without clicking, and in general, there's basically safeguards built into every model that's performing web search to try to avoid over branding and so there's just an inherent benefit to showing up directly in the text of the answer, both in terms of building authority and both in terms of showing that you are seen by the AI as a trusted resource.
And how do you be seen as a trusted resource? I know it has to do with how much content you put out there and how much you structure it, or how you structure it, I should say. But what other components are there? Does your website have to be formatted in a certain way? Does technical debt in the actual code of your website affect AI being able to scrape your website?
Yeah, so yes to all of those questions. They all impact.
Yeah.
And for context, SEO is not dead. Let's take a step back and explore like what actually really happens behind the scenes when you ask a question.
Yeah.
Let's say for someone who's targeting, who might be one of our prospects that is searching digital marketing agencies in finance.
Okay.
When you perform that search, whether it is through like Google now or through Gemini or ChatGPT,
Yeah.
And web search is enabled, the first step that it does is it basically categorizes your question to like what are the possible web searches that can help inform this answer. So it performs that search, it creates a list of search queries, it performs those searches, and then tries to match the content that it finds from those pages with your query, and tries to semantically figure out what best is, out of the resources I find, what best answers this.
Yeah.
So where SEO obviously plays a role is that you need to be performing well enough that you get surfaced in the first place. Like you show up in even the possible sources that it can reference.
Yeah.
So what actually happens behind the scenes when that LM query or that Google search is entered now, whether it is through the AI overview or directly in the response, is that first it digests that query and then comes up with what web searches it should try to answer, like to search to answer that query. So those sources are compiled, and if that's where SEO still matters. If you become one of the possible web searches that it's deciding to source from, then you can become cited or sourced in the answer.
So the better SEO you have, you're in a better place to get the snowball going faster and bigger with AEO, which is answer engine optimization, which is really the AI visibility that we've been referencing in this conversation.
Yeah, that's a portion of it. The other portion is that now, beyond the classic SEO signals of like having backlinks and like high domain authority, we, with the advent of AI, we now these ranking companies are labeling data based off now these AI companies are labeling data semantically, and what this really means is that when you make any sort of query, any sort of question, and someone makes a blog article that may be somewhat related, every published article, every indexed thing by Google, for example, has a semantic vector that's tied with it. Really, all that you need to understand about that is that, like,
my head's spinning.
There is a number. There is a basically a value.
Yeah.
A quantity that represents what this actually means. So when a search is performed, that vector, that conceptual semantic meaning is matched with your query to identify what are the best resources to answer that query.
So pretty much what's happening is when somebody searches something up on ChatGPT, it's literally getting matched up with existing content at scale, and from there the AI is formulating who's the most trusted source, who are some examples that can talk about this or help with this, whatever their search was, and from there, that's where the output comes.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's why content has become more and more important, even more so and at scale, because it has to rank on the AI, and the AI has to be able to see it on the old organic side as well.
Yeah, 100%. And there's both to it. Content has become more important, but it's going to become more and more challenging.
Yeah, because it's oversaturated. Everybody has access to free ChatGPT that can create a blog post in about 2 seconds, right? So now it becomes, still, you need to produce the right amount of content, but it becomes more so, are we structuring it the right way? Is this accurate exactly to what we're talking about? You should have a defined target audience of who you want this to actually cater to. And that's become more and more of a challenge for a lot of people that we've talked to and our clients, and honestly, anybody, because it's oversaturated.
Yeah, and the thing to note is that what you bring up highlights that if you take the approach with AI to just do things faster and easier, it's just not going to perform. because everyone can do that.
You might save like 20 minutes in your day, but it's not going to save you entire processes.
Yeah, and it won't create anything that's worth anything. Everyone's gonna. There's already been a huge influx. It's something about like 60% of articles now published on the web have some amount of content written by AI, and it's an incredibly short period of time, and it's probably gone up. I saw that study maybe 4 or 5 months ago, and ultimately, it highlights that if you're going to use it, like one, you need to be using AI, but when you are using AI, you need your expression of whatever your opinions are, whatever makes your company special, whatever makes your opinion special, that needs to be brought in somehow into the context.
And it needs to be focused as well, right?
Yes,
yeah.
100%.
And that kind of bleeds into one thing that we have here at GK3, which is market voice, which is something that we've been working on for the past few months. And it's really, really good with creating content at scale that's specifically catered to not only you, but more importantly, your target audience as well. How much have you been in market voice, and what are your opinions on where it can help our asset manager and wealth manager financial services friends?
Yeah, I mean, market voice architecturally does everything right.
Yeah.
It allows you to build up that brand context, that brand voice, those guides for how you want to produce LinkedIn content or content for whatever platform.
Yeah.
For blogs, for your website. And at the same time, it allows, it actually forces the user to
do an interview,
yeah,
right?
do an interview to express their opinions. And that's really something that is necessary in order to continue to use AI without compromising on quality.
Yeah.
There's too much temptation with AI to do things fast, do things dirty, and do things easy. But in reality, if everyone's using the same LLM to produce content and they're giving in 30 seconds of effort into it,
it's all going to be the same. Like if you
content.
focus on private real estate and another firm focuses on private real estate, and you're both talking about diversification and how your private real estate can help with that, you're going to have the same content or very similar.
Yep. And that's why, like, and for two private real estate companies, they might have really different methodologies about choosing their properties, and their rationale and theories and thoughts behind how to manage. There's so much variance there, and it's really important to provide that. But at the same time, you don't want to be giving it your life story every time you have a conversation. So
nobody has time for all that.
To write a blog, right? Like to write one blog, you don't want to give it 2 years of history. But that's where some sort of platform like Market Voice plays its role in aggregating that over time, over everything you've written before.
And it compounds, right? Like if you use I should say it like this: the more you use Market Voice, the more spot on it is, the more it learns you. And the quicker it can create content, and the more content it can create at once, to where you can be confident that it's accurately representing your brand, your offering, your advisors, whatever it might be that you're talking about.
Yeah. That's really the role that it performs. Yeah. Regardless of whether or not you're specifically on Market Voice, that framework of knowledge base that you can continue to contribute to, and instruction set to define what you're trying to accomplish with each task is the infrastructure that pretty much every company will need to implement in order to utilize AI effectively moving forward.
And that all ties into being able to create more and more content at scale, enhancing your AI visibility, creating a traffic source that leads to your website, and ultimately enhancing in the loop that we're all in when it comes to gathering information based on what we're looking for in today's world, including financial services, investments, a digital marketing agency, or even the next pair of sneakers that you're going to buy.
100%.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, Ben, really appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us on our second episode of the Fund Better podcast. Viewers, you guys can expect some more fun guests in the future. Hopefully you guys got a lot of good insights around AI visibility and specifically what you can do to make an impact in the short term that will have long-term effects. More insights to come. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.